In today's video, we're going to be going over how to mold and unmold one of our 3D printed bath bomb molds of our Ghost. Before we get involved in all of that, I've had a few questions on the consistency of bath bomb mix and what people should be looking for. You guys are going to get a million different answers. You're going to ask, if you ask 10 people, you're going to get 10 different answers, I promise you. Everybody's is different. And that's because of where you live and your elevation and what your recipe is. There's so many different factors. But basically, I think everybody would be able to agree that you want your mixture to have the consistency of at least damp. You know, you want it to be damp. I don't want to say it's sand because it doesn't feel like that. Your mix should not feel like sand. It shouldn't feel like wet sand. It shouldn't feel like damp sand. It should absolutely never feel like kinetic sand. So those are my personal opinions, and I've been doing this a really long time. You just need your mix to be wet enough so that when you grab a bunch of it and you squeeze it together, does it hold its shape and form? It does. When you drop it down, does it still hold its shape and form? It does. So however you have to get your mix to the consistency where it does that is how wet you need it to be for you and your environment. Again, everybody is different. Also, depending on your mixture and what you are using in your bath bomb mixture, if you are using the really fine powders that are powdered surfactants like SLSA or SCI or SCS, you're going to want to put on some type of a mask. Now, around my neck, I'll show you guys real quick. I'll have to bend over to show you. I always have my N95 hanging around my neck all of the time. However, when I first start mixing all of my powders, because I do have those 3 surfactants in my bath bomb mix, when I start mixing, I put on my full gas mask because these fine particles are no joke. You do not want to breathe this in. If you don't have one of these, that's okay. You don't need it. It's just an extra layer of protection that I choose to put on when I'm first mixing and the powders go flying. A lot of people will take a towel, cover their bowl, and try to mix it that way. A lot of people use stand mixers. They'll put a huge towel over their entire thing. I don't do either of those because I like to see my mix. I like to see the consistency of it. I like to make sure that all of my colorants are getting mixed in evenly, and so putting towels on top of things kind of prevents me from seeing that, but each to his own. If that works for you, fantastic. Just make sure you're, providing yourself with some safety precautions like a mask, whether it's the N95 or a full face mask. Okay? Those are the couple things that I wanted to go over. Now let's get right to this, okay? Now I don't need to have my mask on right now because everything is already mixed. All of my liquids have already kind of settled down all of these powders. That's not always the case. Sometimes I have to wear the mask through about half of the batch as I'm molding and unmolding because those powders are still prevalent in the air. Even though you can't really see them, they're still there. Okay, let's get right onto it, shall we? So we're going to be doing the demo today of our cute little Ghost. And what does he consist of? A bottom plate, an outer shell, and a top plunger with the design on it. Okay, so we want to start by taking our bottom plate, sticking it down on the bottom, take your outside shell, plop it right on the top. There may be a couple little pieces of filament stuck on here. I don't sand my own molds because A, it's usually not necessary, but B, because we literally just got these hot off the presses this morning. Okay, so we got our bottom plate. We have our outside shell. Let's take our mix, right? And you just want to loosely drop it down in. You don't want to cram it down in and stuff it down in and really pack it hard because your bath bomb is going to completely sink to the bottom. And if that's something that you and your customers are okay with, then go with it. But I think the bane of everybody's existence is floating versus non-floating bath bombs. Personally, I am here to tell you, A, I don't care, and B, my customers could care less. I sell a lot, and I do mean a lot, of bath bombs. It's the bulk of my business is bath bombs. People don't care whether they float or sink or whatever. They don't care. But if you care, just dangle above your mold lightly and just let your mix just fall down in there nice and lightly. Okay, you want to give it some shakes in between so that you can make sure that all of your bath bomb mixture is getting down into the cracks and crevices. All right, I usually fill this just slightly above. Let me put this up so you guys can see. Slightly above the top, just slightly, okay? Now we're going to take our plunger, turn it upside down and stick it on the top, and we're going to give it some presses. Now, a lot of people will just, you know, boop, 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 and we're done. And that's great. If that's their mix and their mix holds together like that, fantastic. I give mine some pretty hefty little pushes. And that's not to say that my mix is going to fall apart. It's not. But I just want to ensure a nice, even molding all the way around. Okay, so we're going to take a heavy spoon and we're going to do some taps all the way around. See, there's still some filament on here. Rest assured, when you guys get yours, Mr. Soap Chef actually is the one who sands every single mold and deburrs them if that's necessary too. Because we want to ensure that you guys have an easy flowing, easy to use, user-friendly experience. So just going to give some taps on the top of our plunger. Turn it over and a couple little taps on the bottom plate. And now we're going to lift straight up and off with our bottom plate. All right, take your fingers underneath, thumb on the top. We're going to push up as we're pushing down. That just comes out, it just slides right out. I'm telling you, if I'm being completely honest, which you guys should know by now that I am, I really don't know if it is the quality of the printer or the quality of the filament or a quality of both of those things combined. I'm gonna say it is both of those things combined, because I've been using 3D bath bomb molds for a really long time, many, many years. And I have to say, I just, these are so easy. It's almost surprising to me, to be honest with you, how easy this is. Anyways, we're gonna go straight up and off with our Ghost plunger, just straight up. And there he is, cutesy little ghost for Halloween. If you guys would like to purchase this or any of the other molds that we have for sale, you can find them all up on soap-chef.com. I will leave a link down below.